You can get a line of credit through the Grain app, even if you have a low credit score or a short credit history. You can put the money right in your bank account and use it as you need. What you need to know about the Grain app. With the Grain app, you can borrow money for everyday costs while still using your regular checking account and debit card. Grain is an alternative to a credit card that is meant to help people build their credit. Your cash flow will determine how much you can borrow. You can move this money into your checking account through the app and spend it as usual. At the end of your billing cycle each month, you'll have to pay it back. To avoid having to pay interest, try to pay your bill in full by the date it is due. Paying off the full balance on your statement each month will help your credit score. To use the service, you can get the Grain app from the App Store and use it on an Apple iPhone or tablet. It's not available on Android right now. No credit scores required. For many credit cards, you need to have good credit, and people with lower credit scores may have to pay more in interest. Grain doesn't have minimum scores or use your credit history to decide what you can get. By making payments on time through the app, your credit score will go up over time. Lower interest rate than most credit cards. If you use AutoPay, Grain charges a flat 15% APR on balances after a 21-day grace period after your payment is due. According to data from the Federal Reserve, this is less than the average interest rate on credit cards, which as of August 2022 was 16.27%. Credit card interest rates would likely be much higher for people with little or no credit history or low credit scores. Multiple fees may apply. When you use Grain, you'll have to pay for different things. First, you might have to pay a sign-up fee, which can be anywhere from $56.25 to $75. And then, depending on your credit limit, a monthly service fee. When you use your credit line, you also have to pay a 1% fee. Lastly, don't be late with your payments. Grain will charge you 5% of your minimum payment or $5, whichever is less, and it can hurt your credit score. A closer look at a Grain app personal loan. Credit limits that aren't very high. The amount of credit you can get is based on how much money you have coming in, but the most you can get is $1,000 right now. After you've used the app for 6 months, you might be able to raise this limit. There may be a need for a security deposit. You might have to put down a certain amount of cash as a deposit before getting a line of credit. On its website, Grain does not say how much this might cost. Without AutoPay, the interest rate is higher. If you choose to pay all of your bills by hand, the APR will be 17.99%. Credits show up quickly in your bank account. Grain says that once you decide to use your credit line, the money could be in your checking account right away, or it could take up to 1 business day. Who is the Grain app good for? The Grain app might be a good choice for people who have trouble getting a credit card because they have a low credit score or a short credit history. Grain doesn't have any minimum credit requirements, so you may be able to get a line of credit through this app even if you can't get one anywhere else. Grain may also be a good choice for people whose income is steady and predictable. Grain decides how much credit to give you based on your cash flow, or how often and reliably you get paid. How to apply with Grain. To start using Grain, you'll need to get the Grain app from the App Store and install it on your iPhone or iPad. Then you link the service to your main checking account. The best account to use is the one where you get paid and where you make most of your regular payments. Grain makes you an offer of credit based on the history of your checking account. Most of the time, this process only takes a few minutes. You might have to put down a security deposit at this point. If you are approved and accept a credit offer, you will use the app to get the money. Tap Withdraw Credit on the Credit tab and choose an amount. This cash is sent to your checking account.